I think it's probably a fair assessment to say that most of you who are on this video right now are not here because you know what this is. You're here because you know me and you're curious what I did with my life. So this is a big part of my life, and I'm very, very excited to finally be making videos about it. And I probably the next couple videos on this channel will be about this, and then I'll find some other topic to hyperfixate on. But this has been a big part of my life for a while, so it's exciting. The title of this video is the name of a cubing competition I went to. And for those of you who don't know what that is, let me tell you, the wonderful world of speed cubing. You know these things, the like Rubik's Cubes, there was a big popular toy for a while that I feel like every kid had a phase with. So I never grew out of that phase. I'm basically that annoying kid who knows how to solve one and won't shut up about it, except I'm actually kind of good. And part of that is you go to different cubing competitions all around wherever you want to go, and you find other kids who also are the annoying kids who won't shut up about it, and you all talk about who can solve it faster. And then you all reminisce on the fact that you're all gonna get beat by some 9-year-old kid from China anyway, but that's for a different video. For this video, it's exciting to get back into the competitive scene. I have gone competitions on and off for 5 years. I went to 5 from late 2018 to 2020, then COVID hit, obviously gonna go, and then there was one in my hometown earlier in 2023, so I was like, hey, let's go to this one, and then I've gotten really, really back into it since. So this is my 10th comp, big milestone, and to celebrate this big milestone, we went to Wichita, Kansas. This video is kind of just a quote-unquote vlog of it. I'm obviously not recording at the competition. I'm recording after the fact and telling you what happened, and you will be seeing solve clips. I saw one guy on YouTube, I completely forget what any of his names were, but he did this. I liked it, I thought it was cool, so I'm gonna do this. I will probably do this for my next comp in a couple weeks too. And then I need to not focus on cubing and worry about college instead. But, you know, for now, we'll just focus on this. So anyway, Air Capital Cubing Summer 2023 was a vibe. First event of the day was 5x5, which I had some goals in, but like nothing crazy. My PR average I got out of the comp before this, and it was 120.57. And I was like, hey, that's annoyingly close. Let's try to get that down to sub 120. So then round 1 happens.
Nate.
Oh, that's fine. And it's a very chaotic average because it's 5x5. I end up with a PR average of 120.28. So still not sub 120, but you know, a PR to start the comp is always a good thing. And next on the agenda was what's normally the main event for people, 3x3. So I have a nasty habit of choking 3x3 round 1. Like, at home I usually average mid to high 10s, maybe mid 11 on a bad day. But I have a habit of like round 1 of every comp ends up being like a low 13 average, which is awful. So I kind of went into this first round with 0 expectations, and it paid off wonderfully. Good start. Getting a PR single was not something I expected to happen the very first round, and I got a nice average. I had more shots second rounds. I was seeded to make it to finals, assuming I performed the same in round 2. Yeah. Next up was the big event of the day. Get it? It's funny. 7x7. I did not have 7x7 before this. I had like some crappy one that was basically unusable. So I kind of jumped straight to buying the best 7x7 on the market. It was a very, very worthwhile investment. I did not record any of these saws because it's 7x7, and why would I store 4 minutes of video in my phone for absolutely no reason? But I did get an overall PB, mean, and single. I continue my trend of being top 10 in basically everything I care about in the state, which is super cool. And I finished 5th at this comp, which, you know, for having never competed in 7x7, finishing 5th is a pretty good start. So very happy with how that went. After 7x7, there was a nice little break, and then we jumped into 4x4 round 1. I made a mistake with 4x4. I tried to actually podium this event, because if you look at the site sheet before and you saw like who all the competitors were in 4x4 going to this comp, there were like 5-ish people who were kind of averaging like 36 to 38 range, which was about what I was averaging at home. So there were multiple people fighting for like the 2nd and 3rd spots. So I got round 1. That starts an awful start. Nice. Yeah, again, very chaotic average in 4x4. 36 at the end was very promising though. It was promising that like, hey, maybe in finals I'll try again and we'll do something great and we'll all have a good time. Next event of the day was 6x6. It's this one. Yeah. So I, for this comp, bought the Moyu Aoshi. It was a fantastic upgrade from my last cube. I started averaging closer to 240 compared to 3 minutes before. I got a PB single of 220 actually practicing literally at the competition. So I was excited for this. I thought it could be fun, see what I could get. And first solve was pretty good. Second solve was really annoying because I believe the first step was like 3 moves to a first 2 bars or something, and I just completely messed up the rest of the solve, and it was like average on a good scramble, which is by comparison bad. I think that's how that works. And then the last solve just, I got like to the last step, I messed up. I checked the timer, it was at 3:14, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do this. So took a DNF mean. My last 2 results, 6x6, have been DNF means, but I have an okay single now, so that's something to be excited about. And then before anything else, after that, we had 3x3 round 2. Yeah. So remember the thing I said earlier about having a bad habit of choking? Trash, dude. Yeah, so I went from a mid-10 average to a mid-12 and then missing finals entirely. Yeah, I'm not great at the main event. I should probably start practicing that because, you know, that's the event that gets you the most money if you do well in. So I'm one of those idiots who decided to put 2x2, pick 2x2 to be the event that like I choose to focus all my time on and be good at, because at high level it's just a game of how many algorithms can you learn and how fast can you turn. So my goals for this comp was podium. I was up there, I could definitely do it. Overall, I wanted to get my state record average, which is like 2.39, and then yeah, we jump into 2x2 round 1. That was so easy on my fumble. There we go. Yeah, one of the most insane things I've ever had. 2.3 in the 4 solve was nice, and PR single on the last was cool. Should have been better because, you know, I kind of didn't realize the queue would be solved after what I did, so had a bit of a hesitation with that. And also that 4th solve, Ryan Pilot sat next to me, and he got a like 0.9 on basically the exact same solution I did because he's better at 2x2 than I am. But it's fine. That's why I said podium, not win. I'll take my okay average. Got 4th. Got to move on to finals. We'll get another shot then. But before we get to 2x2 finals, though, we have all the other finals to deal with. Start. not the best. I know I said I wanted a podium 4x4, but honestly, and the third solve, when I had a counting 45, I kind of quickly realized that wasn't happening and decided I should put all my effort into 2x2 instead. And put all my effort into 2x2 I did. 2x2 finals was, I was tired by this point. I was done. I was looking at this average like one of two ways. Either this average goes well and I do well and that's cool, or this average goes poorly and I get to go home earlier. And I did poorly, so I was like, okay, let's go home. Unfortunately, everyone else decided they should also do poorly, so I had to stay for another half hours as I sat and got my certificate and promises of a $7 cubicle gift card coming my way. Yeah. This average was weird. I mean, obviously not very happy with the average like as a whole, but it is kind of nice to be back on the podium because before I stopped going to competitions because of COVID, what had happened was I'd actually won my last two competitions on 2x2. But to be fair, this is like 2020 and no one cared about 2x2 like at all at the time. But it was nice getting back into that vibe. Yeah. Hopefully that's some momentum shift we cover into our next comp. The next comp I'm going to is the Springfield Summer Open 2023, which is cool. It's close to me, but it's also going to be farther away from me because literally the week before I have my first bigger college to deal with. We'll see what I do, and the absolute ceiling is I can podium literally everything. Like looking at the psych sheet, if I practice enough, I can podium. The question is, will I be able to practice enough? Because, college is kind of also a very important thing. Yeah, shout out all my Midwest cubers. If you are an actual cuber who is watching this and is like, hey, I know that kid, let me know, please. I like the Midwest cubing group. You're awesome. Love you guys. And I hope I see some of you at Springfield Summer Open. And if not, maybe I'll find you at random like Heartland champs next year or something.